The mysterious death of Nolan Wells has devastated the community of Ocean Springs, Mississippi. The talented wide receiver was preparing to head to football camp at Southwest Mississippi Community College when a 4th of July weekend trip ended in tragedy. What transpired has not only gripped the small town where he lived, but has exploded online as his family, amateur sleuths, and top legal minds tried to unravel a slew of unanswered questions. Here we take a look at just some of those. Nolan and a group of friends took a boat out to Horn Island, a remote barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. A photo posted on social media showed Nolan with his arms around 3 of his friends during the 45-minute trip. Nolan's mother, Christine Winsley, said her son had made frequent visits to the island over the last year and would always tell her when he was back on the mainland. However, this time, hours went by without a response. Not a text or call was made to his parents late into the evening on July 4th. By midnight, a desperate Christine reported her son missing to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and turned to social media for help. Nolan's friends said they last saw him at around 3 p.m. on the northwest tip of the island. We spoke to Josh Gill, the United Cajun Navy's incident coordinator for the search for Nolan, who described the conditions on the island and its popularity during the summertime.
Horn Island's off the coast of Mississippi. I believe about 10 miles off the coast. It's a 144 square mile island. It's pretty big. It's a location that's in the Gulf of Mexico / Gulf of America, whichever nomenclature you want to use. It's a destination area for boaters, right? Fishermen, boaters, recreational boaters as well. July 4th weekend, the water wasn't extremely rough. It was, a normal day. I'd say, light swells, maybe up to 1 foot. There is a pretty heavy tidal surge and tidal movement on that portion of the island where they were at. It's a pass between 2 islands, so there's increased tidal influence right there, along with wind and wave action. Extremely popular. All summer long, it's popular. Like I said, there'll be anywhere from a few hundred boats to, it could be over 1,000.
According to 2 of Nolan's friends, the 18-year-old was last seen talking to a young woman before the group headed back to the mainland at around 4:30 p.m. A statement from the mother of one of Nolan's friends claimed the group departed after they began experiencing mechanical issues with their boat, which began taking in water. The woman also claimed Nolan chose to stay behind on the island and intended to hitch a ride back to the mainland with another group. Nolan's father, Elmore Winsley, recalled the painful hours of July 5th when he traveled to Horn Island early in the morning to search for his son.
And this so happened that his coach saw all the stuff on Facebook that next morning and called and contacted me at like 5 in the morning, asked me did we want to go out. And I told him yes. So within an hour, he was at the dock. We met him and we went out. We docked the boat, got out the boat, walked on the island, walked a pretty nice stretch, came back, got back on the boat, went around the island, looked, came back around, and where we went to, that's where apparently they say that his body floated up. I don't know a lot about water currents over there, but I would think that we would have saw his body. Mm-hmm. And on the trip there was a family that stayed a night on the island, like actually tented out on the island. So if he was left, he would have saw that family on the island, and there was 2 other boats docked, so he would have had help. So I don't know. I don't know. I think we stayed there for like an hour and a half. That's when Jackson County and the Sheriff Department showed up, and they were going to do their rounds. And I had a classmate of mine, him and his 2 boys, they came out and they searched, and then they got back in touch with me and said the Coast Guard had finally showed up in airplanes. So
while local authorities state they have not found evidence of foul play and are leaning towards accidental drowning, deep discrepancies have emerged on social media. Powerhouse civil rights attorney Ben Crump was retained by Nolan's parents to launch an independent investigation, citing the family's concerns about Mississippi's racial history. In a press conference on July 10th, Crump publicly questioned the logic of the timeline, asking why Nolan would stay behind on an uninhabitable island without his cell phone.
The glaring contradictions just jump out at you. The fact that he is there with his friends, and you look at all the videos, it seems to be he's the only black on the island, or maybe one other, but not many. And so, Jared, you have where a young woman he was talking to says that, well, Nolan said he was going back to get on the boat with the boys. The boys say that Nolan told them he was going to stay and talk to the young woman. It's a contradiction. They're not saying the same thing. One of them is telling the truth, one of them is not. We have to get to the bottom of that. It's important. But his phone, he wouldn't take that with him if he's going to stay behind on the island? I mean, we're talking about an 18-year-old kid. What teenager would leave their phone behind if they're going to stay on this island? What teenager wouldn't take their phone? And so it's not adding up. It's not adding up at all. The fact, as Reverend Al said, you know, they didn't take his phone with them. His mother, when she finds out that her baby is missing, they start trying to track the phone. The GPS the phone, they've used Life 360, and they discover that, well, the phone is on land. The phone is on land, but you're saying he went missing on the island. And so it's not adding up.
Nolan's friend said he left his cell phone on the boat and it ended back with them when they returned to the mainland without him. Nolan's mother, Christine, said she was not simply handed the phone, adding that a family friend had to track the signal to one of Nolan's friends' houses, where they physically retrieved the cell phone and his car keys. Christine became suspicious when she opened her son's Snapchat and noticed both of his accounts were completely wiped of any photos, videos, or messages from that day, an anomaly for someone who documented everything, she said. The family alleged the phone was tampered with and messages were deleted before it was recovered. Ben Crump later fueled further questions when he boasted two unverified theories about what may have happened to Nolan in his final moments. During the press conference, Crump claimed that a video circulating on social media shows Nolan shouting in the distance, "Give me my freaking phone, what are you freaking doing?" This comes after rumors spread that an altercation had occurred on the island at the time Nolan and his friends were there.
Then the fact, Reverend Al, that they have this video of an argument that is going on, and you know, thank God all young people, they have cell phones, and anytime you hear people raising their voice, they start the video. And so you hear on the video Nolan saying, "Give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing?" And that becomes even more relevant when you think about the story that they are presenting, that Nolan chose to stay behind. That's what they're saying.
Jackson County deputies said they're investigating a similar video, but have not verified the video's authenticity or whether it's related to Nolan's death. However, a friend spoke out a week after his disappearance, saying he was the one in the footage getting into a verbal altercation, not Nolan. Then on July 12th, Crump shared an eerie photo of a group of teens at a pool party, suggesting Nolan may have made it back from the island. Crump claimed the photo, which originated on social media, showed Nolan in Jackson County before 1 a.m. on July 5th, hours after the search and rescue operation was launched. The photo has not been verified by authorities, and Crump specified he too is uncertain about its origins. Now listen, he wrote on Instagram, I don't know if these are facts or rumors because no official statements have been confirmed. We sometimes have to follow all clues until the truth is found, he said. As Nolan's parents await a full autopsy report, the family is choosing to remember their son as a deeply kind, inclusive, and an ambitious leader with a big heart.
Nolan is the kindest soul. He never met a stranger. He loved everybody. He didn't care if you were black, white, purple, green, looked like a marshmallow. Like, he just wanted everyone to be in peace with one another. He loved life, and God gave him this big heart. He was just a special kid. Like, he was a special kid, but again, just heart was so big. And we're gonna miss him dearly.
Nolan is a person with a big heart. He's loved by not just his family, but the community. He's a born people person.